Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss some important points from chapter 4, metals and non-metals. All materials are made of only a few basic units called elements. There are only about 118 known elements till date. Some of the commonly known elements are oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, sodium, aluminum, phosphorus, sulfur, zinc, mercury, gold, silver, iron, etc. These elements cannot be split into simpler substances by chemical methods. On the basis of their general properties, elements are often divided into two groups, metals and nonmetals. Of all the naturally occurring elements, 22 are nonmetals and 70 are metals. All the elements, all the metals and nonmetals show their certain common physical and chemical properties. Classification of elements. Elements divided into three categories: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Metals like aluminum, copper, iron, etc. These are metals. Non-metals, oxygen, carbon, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. And metalloids, silicon, arsenic, boron, germanium, etc. Metals are good conductor of electricity and heat, and non-metals, the substances which are poor conductor, not good conductor of heat and electricity, are non-metals. And metalloids, the substances which show both the properties of metals and non-metals, are called metalloids. Metals have been known to man since the Stone Age. Reference of copper is found in the Vedic literature, the oldest book known to the mankind. Copper was probably the first metal to be used for making utensils, weapons, etc., and hence the period 4000 BC is known as Copper Age. So 4000 BC is known as Copper Age, okay? 4000 BC is known as Copper Age. Occurrence of metals. Metals occur in the nature in the free as well as in the combined states. The less reactive metals like silver, gold, and platinum are generally found in the free states. Most of the metals, however, are found in the combined form as minerals. Reactive metals generally occur in combined form, and less reactive metals in both free as well as combined form. Highly unreactive metals occur in free state in nature. Highly unreactive elements occur in free state in nature. The naturally occurring compounds of metals mixed with earthly materials are called mineral. Listen. The naturally occurring compounds of metals mixed with earthly materials are called mineral. A mineral may contain small or large percentage of metals in it. The metal content of a mineral may also vary from place to place. Ores of metals. A mineral from which a metal can be extracted on the commercial scale, economically and easily is called an ore. So you have to keep in mind this definition. What is ore? A mineral from which a metal can be extracted on the commercial scale, economically and easily is called an ore. Characteristic of metals. We have 6 characteristics. You have to know these 6 characteristics of metals. Some important characteristics of metals are as follows. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are malleable and ductile. That is why metal can be beaten into thin leaves and drawn into thin wires. Malleable means metals, since the metals can be beaten into thin leaves, so metals are malleable. It's called the malleability property of metal. And ductility, metals can be drawn into thin wire, so metals are ductile. Number 3, all metals except mercury are solid at room temperature. So mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. Mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. All metals except mercury are solid at room temperature. Okay. Metals have luster and can be polished. Metals have luster and can be polished. Luster means shine. Metals shine. Why? Because when light strike on the polished metal, the metal will reflect the light. Metals will reflect the light, the beam of light. So metals, that's why metals shine actually. Metals are why metals are luster? Because the metals has a tendency to lose electrons. Actually, all metals have tendency to lose electrons. Metals are electropositive elements. That is, metals have tendency to lose electrons. Metals have a tendency to lose electrons and form positively charged ions known as cations. Metals have high tensile strength. Tensile strength means resistance of a material to breaking under tension. Resistance of breaking, tensile strength is very high. Metals have high tensile strength. Tensile strength means resistance of materials breaking under tensions. Okay. Next class we will discuss about physical properties of metals.